off a flight across the pond?
Yeah.
How was it?
London was amazing.
Yeah.
London was amazing. We had a great time. Abbey Road. Drank our calories. I'm excited to be back home for some food I'm a little bit more accustomed to. But landed at like 1 o'clock.
Way to show up for your team. Man.
Appreciate you. But hey, man, it's we over me, right?
That's what we do,
They don't pay the lazy ones. That's what we do. They don't pay the lazy ones.
Did you see the Playmaker in costume yesterday?
No, what was he rocking?
Please don't even bring that up.
He was a raven.
Yeah, we do this raven thing.
Oh my God.
And then I got to explain why the
That segment was
are a treat and not a treat. When it got pushed, I don't see them doing this for Aaron Rodgers. And I'm just saying this, I'm starting to think some kind of conspiracy theory is going on here, to be honest with you, Dan. I heard you when you came in here, Dan, and said, oh, well, they're going to run the ball and just use Aaron Rodgers to throw it every now and then. He's coming off a back-to-back MVP. How are we going to minimize a back-to-back MVP? It's something personal going on in Green Bay.
Conspiracy theory how? You can't
it's something personal going on with Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers, when you're coming back-to-back MVPs, that means you are running this football team. The last few years, the last few offseasons, Aaron Rodgers has run this football team. Now, Aaron Rodgers drop off, and they start looking like they're looking right now, and this team goes 4-12, 4-13 or whatever. Now we got we possibly start moving Aaron Rodgers like we did Brett Favre. I'm just saying, man, there's no way you get this guy and you put him in that situation, and I can't. I've been on Aaron Rodgers for the way he's been trying to go at the receivers. The reality is I need to be on that front office for the way they have let this man down. I don't know how they came into this season thinking that they got a back-to-back MVP and what they gave him is good enough.
All right, so first of all, getting a receiver absolutely helps them. But it's not going to cure all their ills. I want to make something very clear because people keep taking shots at me about this Packers.
Right.
I was also the person who said leading up to the draft, they were the one team that needed to go up in that draft for a wide receiver. They chose not to. They took 2 defensive players for first-round picks. So at that moment, my mind transitioned to what style of football they're going to play. Now, do I think it's going to make a difference for them making a run? No, but they have no shot of making a run unless they make a move.
Yeah.
I think the reality is this. This defense right now in Green Bay has 9 guys that were first or second round picks. That defense has played 3,000 snaps this year by first or second round picks. So part of me sits there and goes, well, they're talented enough on defense to sit there and go, if they play a little bit better and play a little bit scheme different and allow those guys talent to shine, that defense is going to get better. Right now, their offense is so overrated as a roster. It's overrated as a roster. Christian Watson can't get on the field. Romeo Doubs, he has moments.
He left the game yesterday.
He has moments.
Are you talking about conspiracy theories against Aaron Rodgers, to make him look bad?
And I got upset at Aaron Rodgers for calling out these guys saying, well, Buffalo is just what we need. Really? Maybe not. I don't know how you figure that when these guys aren't playing well and they're going to play against the best team and all that. But he said, you know, we can get called out here. And I think I think he was talking about, I don't know what he was talking about the players. I mean, how do you do this? How do
you are all in.
Stop, guys. Stop. How do you do this to a back-to-back MVP?
So you think they want him gone?
Let's stop playing. I don't know. Something's going on here. How do you do this to a back-to-back MVP? This man has not thrown for more than 260 yards in all 8 games. Yeah. He toured with 260 all his career. He toured with 260. And now, oh, my God, there's got to be something going on. And I'm just telling you, I don't know what it's going to take to fix it, but somebody better start looking deeper into that situation.
Okay, Dan, it's Halloween, so we're going to stay with this conspiracy theory. They want Rodgers out. Are you on that?
I'm not there with the conspiracy theory, but it's hard for it's hard for me to sit here and not have my eyes and my ears perked up to it because, again, going back to the draft, I think it's important for everybody to be reminded at home they tried to re-sign Devontae. They tried to. They did. Right. We got to be fair with that. Right. Now, Devontae wanted out, and maybe that's because of the past and them not committing to him at that moment. Right. And once they make that decision, that's why Mina, so many of us were adamant, you got to go get one of these young receivers in the draft that were really good. And then they didn't. And that's when we all sat back and said, well, maybe they're going to try to be the 2019 49ers, where they're just going to commit to running the ball with those 2 backs, Jones and Dillon. The offensive line is going to be really good again. Now, Bakhtiari hasn't been healthy. I don't think that they believed that was going to be an issue. And then this defense we thought would be a top 5 unit because all the talent. To sit here and say that the general manager made those moves. I'm not there on
they want Rodgers out. Are you on that?
I'm not there with the conspiracy theory, but it's hard for it's hard for me to sit here and not have my eyes and my ears perked up to it because, again, going back to the draft, like I think it's important for everybody to be reminded at home they tried to re-sign Devontae. They tried to. They did. Right. We got to be fair with that. Right. Now, Devontae wanted out, and maybe that's because of the past and them not committing to him at that moment. Right. And once they make that decision, that's why Mina, so many of us were adamant, like, you got to go get one of these young receivers in the draft that were really good. And then they didn't. And that's when we all sat back and said, well, maybe they're going to try to be the 2019 49ers, where they're just going to commit to running the ball with those two backs, Jones and Dillon. The offensive line is going to be really good again. Now, Bakhtiari hasn't been healthy. I don't think that they believed that was going to be an issue. And then this defense we thought would be a top 5 unit because all the talent. To sit here and say that the general manager made those moves to strategically set up Rodgers to struggle and fail to allow the forcing of him to be out easier, I'm not on board with that just yet.
I need Pat McAfee. When did they do their segment
Tuesday
together?
afternoon.
Okay, Tuesday afternoon, Pat McAfee. Could you please ask him about this conspiracy theory we have?
He'll
Michael
talk to him
Irvin
about
on Halloween.
Somebody has to say it, and I just said it.
But that means you're also taking a team that was back-to-back NFC title games and the division championship last year and sitting there going, we're gonna force failure upon it?
All right, let's keep it going. Stephen A. I'm nervous to read this. Okay, it's bad enough I'm out with COVID, although I'm feeling much better than I did last December. But listen to Michael Irvin bloviate. I never saw bloviate in a sentence. It's good to see the word. About those Dallas Cowboys and to see Dan Orlovsky sitting in my seat with damn goggles. I knew. See, Stephen A., I had your back. I know him so well. I told you he's going to be mad about your T-shirt and he's going to be mad about your glasses because I know this man.
First of all, I'm glad you're feeling better. Second of all, just so like you get an understanding of what my day was like yesterday, Stephen A. Woke up in London, called the game. Get to the hotel or get to the airport, and I start rewatching the games that happened in the afternoon so I can come to work prepared today, rewatching stuff on the airplane, get it around 1 o'clock, wake up at 4 o'clock to rewatch the games. That's why I'm wearing this.
We are not the Cowboys. We are a physical football team. A physical football team first. Everybody keep telling Tony Pollard makes them explosive. Great. In the NFC East, you need physicality to win. That's what the Dallas Cowboys are. That's what Zeke brings. There's nobody in this league, and I don't know if I've seen anybody, or not many bodies, that can step up and stop a blitzer like Zeke does. I don't know if I ever seen it.
So you're paying Zeke $12 million to pick up?
No. Zeke still running the ball, too. He's still running the ball, but Zeke is a package. He's a package. He's delivering to everybody the way that we play football. Oh, let's go be explosive. No, let's be physical. Let's back people down. Let's break them. That's what the Dallas Cowboys would do with Zeke.
Where's that
Absolutely, Zeke.
Where's that gotten you the last 10 years?
What's that?
I mean, Zeke's been here for 8 years now, 6 years now.
Where's that gotten you?
No doubt. It brings something.
Because Zeke brings something that this offense is lacking.
Yes, Zeke brings something.
What?
Zeke brings the physicality.
So you think that the Cowboys are going to go to the Super Bowl because of a physical running back?
You just sat here and talked about the Green Bay Packers having a chance because they got Dillon.
Because they have Aaron Rodgers, not Dak.
No. You were talking about the run game.
Yes.
You were talking about A.J. Dillon. And they got power. And they're going to they'll just use Aaron Rodgers football. So, yes.
The Cowboys aren't going to the Super Bowl because Ezekiel Elliott brings a physical presence. Here's the reality.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Tony Pollard has 81 rushes. 13 of those rushes have gone for over 10 yards.
No doubt.
That's one every 6 carry becomes an explosive run.
No doubt.
Zeke has 110. 8 of them have gone. Right. I agree that Zeke is a physical back. He could be short yardage. He could be a bell cow back.
No doubt.
If a team's going to dare the Cowboys to run it 40-plus times to win that game in the playoffs, that he needs to get 20 and Tony Pollard needs to get 20. But to sit here and say that Ezekiel Elliott brings something and or more to this offense than Tony Pollard does?
It's amazing.
Because this offense right now is a run-centric, play-action-pass offense. Yes. You're not going to be explosive enough to beat teams like Philadelphia.
He's going to be the first receiver with 2,000 yards.
You know what? That even saying someone can get that, and of course, I watched Calvin Johnson that year because he was breaking a lot of my records that year. Most 100-yard games in a row, most 100-yard games for a season. He was smashing them all. And I didn't think he could get there. And I never thought anybody could get there if he didn't get there that season.
Right.
Because that was the season. I mean, it was insane. But watching this dude right here, Tyreek Hill, and watching him with Mike McDaniel, and how Mike McDaniel pushed towards Tyreek Hill. And now what will get him this opportunity, because, you know, Matthew Stafford and Calvin Johnson, we knew what they were going to do. We respected it. We were scared of it. We don't respect Tua enough, I believe, to stop this right here. That's why I say, yes, he will get 2,000 yards. Because if he was still with Patrick Mahomes, I say, no way, we're not going to let him do that. They're not going to let him be that explosive and make those plays. But they don't respect Tua in that manner. In this short passing game that Mike McDaniel has put together and using that talent and that gift, absolutely, I believe, Dan, this dude here may be the first to get 2,000 yards. And fitting, because one time he was told that he was just a special teams player. And I believe he'll be the first one to go get 2,000 yards as a receiver.
All right, you sold me. I think he's going to do it as well. Now, the caveat is Calvin had 19 plus, and then Cooper Kupp last year had 19 plus. No coincidences with Matthew Stafford.
Right.
Anyway, I think that, like, the ability and the talent is there. But the only pushback I have is, or the hesitation I have is this. Jalen Waddle is still a guy that, like, Miami is plenty capable of getting the football to.
Right.
Mike Gesicki, their tight end.
I like
a guy
Gesicki.
that their offense is plenty capable of getting the ball to. The running backs in this offense with Mike McDaniel coming over, like, those are a big part. So at some point, defenses are at least going to sit there and go, well, we're going to take Tyreek away. And I know that's easier said than done, and people have tried it. But as we get into these, you know, last 8-9 games of this season, playoff seeding, I think we're going to start seeing defenses really hone in on saying, okay, Tua, we're not going to give you Tyreek. We're going to make Jalen Waddle go for 180.
How can we say how are they not saying that right now? How have they not been saying that for the first 8 weeks of the season?
Because I think defenses are still trying to figure out off tape who Miami is offensively.
That's true. That's why I said you'll get it.
And Tua. Don't forget Tua missed like 3 or 4 games.
Right.
You're trying to figure out, okay, when he's in these formations, these splits, all that stuff, like this is what they love to get to. Far easier said than done.
Normally, we wait till Tuesday to get me and Dan together so we can do a little Sunscreen Tuesday. But it's Halloween, and since it's Halloween, my dog is going to bring you his top 5 scariest teams. And he said that Michael Irvin might be so scared he won't even sweat after this when he does Playmaker.
And I hope Marcus Spears is watching too, you Chuck. Now, usually Stephen A gets up here and he's like, I'm going to give you the top 5 teams in the NFL. It's not that. It's only the 5 teams that won the previous week that he thinks is good. Okay, we're going to start with number 5. I'm going to go to Kansas City Chiefs. Now, part of this is because everyone expects the Chiefs to be really good, right? But I think over the past couple weeks, we've seen that this is offense that's starting to get its rhythm. Like all these different options, the Mecole Hardmans, the Jujus, the Kelseys, the Pachecos at tailback, the Fortson, the tight end, like all these different options that they have. You're starting to see now they got to get healthy on the defensive team, but we all know that that's a dynamic option. The San Francisco 49ers. Yeah. This is a team in San Francisco that now they have probably the most untackleable trio in the history of the NFL. McCaffrey, Debo, and Kittle. I understand their quarterback's Jimmy Garoppolo, but when their defense is healthy, they're better than the Dallas Cowboys.
Bro, do you know what this is like?
Yeah.
This is like when you go to the rich neighborhood on Halloween and they give you the little candy.
Nah.
If I go to the rich neighborhood, I want the regular size Snickers. Don't give me the little
king
small
size. These are scary teams. You mean that's
so the Buffalo Bills?
We know
Bills.
Scary?
Right.
Dude, Playmaker, stop it now.
Dude, scary.
Playmaker, stop it.
Scary?
And wait. And the Cowboys are coming. That was Dak's second game back. And Dak's he had over 100
when y'all gonna
passer
stop the
rating.
run, Play?
That's okay. We're gonna be ahead. Don't you see the first 4 drives? You ain't see the first 4 drives go get a touchdown. The first 4 drives go get a touchdown. And now my boys can pin back.
Detroit?
Yes.
When you couldn't score?
Yeah.
You think this offense
just got back off a hand. Y'all got to give them time. I'm okay. 1, 2, 3. Move them up. Put the Cowboys 4, and then put the 49ers 5th.
That team is scarier than the Cowboys.
Do the Jets or the Pats have their quarterbacks to the future in Zach Wilson and Mac Jones?
Ooh.
Good one, right?
I think, okay, the vote's still out on the Jets, but I thought after last year that absolutely the Pats have found their quarterback of the future and Mac Jones, moving forward. I gotta say, I love no one like I love Bill Belichick, and what he has done is incredible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's been, it's insane for what he's accomplished and how he's led men. But this is the first time I must say that I believe Bill made a bad decision here, in not allowing this young man to have somebody on that staff to help grow him in his second season after having that kind of season that he had his first season, and then to come back and this man has to deal with the zappy time and all of that, and then you pull him in. I felt so bad for him. I was shocked and surprised that they came out and did what they did to the Jets yesterday and the way they did it. But I was happy for him. But this is the first time I ever had to say, man, Bill, I think Bill made a bad decision. I wish you would have gotten this young man somebody to continue his development.
From his bed, as he should be resting, and has some thoughts on your list, Playmaker. One of my favorite, he's so dramatic. One of my favorite segments absolutely ruined by Michael Irvin when you put Tony Pollard, a Cowboy, ahead of Derrick Henry's 219 yards rushing on first take. Pathetic, just pathetic. And Ryan Clark knows it too. Oh, and he gave you a hashtag.
It's his sixth
shameful.
time doing that. It's his sixth time doing that. It's commonplace for that motor.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.